Grand Theft Auto Online is easily one of the greatest video game phenomena in the past decade. Even outside of the gaming space, everyone knows about the infamous Grand Theft Auto series. GTA Online was a video game marvel back in its early days because of how different GTA was for so many people. Nobody really knew how it was going to work because some play the games for the gripping stories, while others just bought the game not even to know there's a story that came with it. Would there be any progression to it? Or did people just shoot each other until they're bored? Recently, my friend brought up the idea of a hypothetical Saints Row Online, and I had these exact questions. Shout out to Larry JOTHYIM, his SoundCloud's in the description, go check him out. But after he explained it to me as how they could integrate heists like in GTA and include all the insane amount of side stuff in Saints Row 3 and 4, it all started to make sense. And that's how the world felt when GTA Online started to get its act together. But the community evolved, and the game couldn't catch up.
Here comes the money!
Here we go, money talk.
Here comes the money!
GTA Online was nothing like the world had ever seen. It was quite literally just Grand Theft Auto, but with other people. You didn't exactly have a story to follow like you do in the main game. You can make your own story. You had to watch your character go from nothing to a billionaire, Scarface style.
Washing yourself, man.
Coño.
I retire.
You could dress your character up however you wanted, create your own backstory for your character. What's their motives? What's their personality? This was all for you to decide, for you to create. And for those not so interested in developing their OC like I am, the game was a playground. When games have custom game options that say you can make your own game mode and it's really just a bunch of basic stuff like changing how long the bomb timer is on Search and Destroy, they're probably describing GTA Online's custom games because this was nothing like anyone had seen before. Okay, so here's my little game idea. I'm gonna have a bunch of people stand on this podium, and another team of people are gonna drive cars off of ramps at very high speeds, and they're gonna try and hit the people on the podium. But the people on the podium have to dodge the cars, but there actually is no podium, and it's actually a giant obstacle course, and everyone's racing to grab an RPG at the end of the course, so they can blow up the cars and win. You could do that. And the funny thing is, anyone could, thanks to the built-in Rockstar editor. I managed to build my own racetrack that I called the Piston Cup on Xbox, but I think it got deleted, or I deleted it or something. But I vividly remember playing it with my friend Jesse. And for those not so adept in the Rockstar editor, go throw some C4 on random cars in the street, go parachute from the skyscrapers. Los Santos is your oyster. Do what you want. As time progressed, GTA Online got more and more content to keep players coming back. We got CEO offices, new heists, a casino heist, new vehicles and clothing. The city of Los Santos always had a reason to bring in new blood. Whether you wanted to finish every heist or you just wanted to shoot some people on the street, GTA Online was for everyone, and I mean everyone, racking up over 150 million copies sold worldwide to this day. Everyone wants a slice of Rockstar's offensive, violent, and explicit cake. GTA Online is one of my favorite games ever, from the memories to the amount of content within the game. It's nothing like anything else I've ever played. I feel like there needs to be more of these Lite-MMO games, similar to Destiny 1, which was basically just an MMORPG for a COD fan, but it wasn't too bland. However, even with all of this praising of GTA Online, it's not exactly perfect. Remember how I said GTA Online was for everyone? Not really. The game unintentionally gatekeeps new players out with its highly inflated economy. Things are just too expensive, and you may think, well, it's all endgame content, right? Well, I mean, I guess it is, but it really shouldn't be. These new updates are what reel players in, and just to lock them out of what they want to do is extremely discouraging. Some heists require you to pay an extremely hefty amount of money just to buy a building that is for some reason required for the job, and then you have to have enough money to pay for the setup costs, only to be paid probably less than what you spent on to do the heist in the first place. And I'm not asking for the game to cater to 100% to new players and make it super easy, but why do you work towards these goals? To feel happiness upon completing them and reap your rewards, right? So why do these rewards have to be not what players are expecting at all? Another issue related to gatekeeping is the community. Now, I'm not saying every GTA Online player is a complete jerk, but there are a fair share of people in the game that go out of their way just to ruin other people's experiences for quite honestly no reason at all. I'm mainly talking about tryhards and griefers. Now, these people may retort with, well, PvP and free roam is in the game, so if Rockstar didn't want you to do it, it wouldn't be in the game. And by that logic, yes, you're right, congratulations. But you know what else is in the game? Not being a total asshole. You quite honestly have no motive to ruin people's day. You don't gain anything from killing someone just driving around, and you don't really gain a whole lot from destroying someone's cargo shipment when you're level 600 and have 4.2 billion just in your pocket. These types of players, mainly griefers as opposed to tryhards, completely push out new players from trying the aforementioned services like cargo and heist setups. But playing devil's advocate, it is sort of on Rockstar's fault for having new content have a very short shelf life. These players have billions of dollars and more than enough XP already, so they have no reason to do these heists multiple times to secure the bag. They play them once just to see what happens in the story, and then they're back to their day-to-day lives. I think Rockstar really needs to implement something that players can essentially work on forever, as opposed to being an unintentionally timed activity. And I think that the reputation system in the LS car meet was a step in the right direction. From what I know, you can level that up infinitely, but obviously that is a very teeny little baby step in contrast to what we actually need. In 2018, Rockstar took notes on some of the problems with GTA Online and started something new behind the scenes. A small little side quest was implemented into Grand Theft Auto Online where players could find a new handgun called the Double Action Revolver, a gold 6-shooter with a pearl grip engraved on every inch. This gun was a teaser for Rockstar's next big Lite-MMO, Red Dead Online. When I had heard about Red Dead Online, I had so many questions about how it would work. What would you even do? What weapons would you use? At the time I hadn't played RDR2, and now I have. It will get its own video, just wait. So I didn't really know what was going to be in the game. I bought the standalone RDO on sale for $7, and wow, what an upgrade. There's a short storyline for new players to follow while they're making some money along the way, hooking players into the game, making them want to come back again and again from the beginning. By the time they're done that, they can change their honor level and do the opposite storyline they didn't get to experience, giving them more to do and more money to spend. This is one way that Rockstar could fix the gatekeeping issue of Grand Theft Auto Online, giving the players something to look forward to from the very beginning. On top of that, these missions are fun, from saving a couple in the desert to robbing a bank to sieging a fort in a whole suit of armor. These are fun premises that might even have players going back to play them again. Except that one mission where your morals lead you, because that mission legitimately sucks, that one's just no fun. On top of that, every 5 levels, players will receive a treasure map. That's one way to earn some more money, and lots of gold very quickly. There's a handful of missions players can do from characters across the 5 states, with some of them even being from the story mode. There's a big emphasis on progression of stats, so hey, go fishing or level up your horse's bonding level. Once you have enough gold, go check out the different roles that you can purchase. That opens a whole new stream of content for you. There's a lot to do for new RDO players, and the good thing is, most of it can be done solo, which not only means that you can go at your own pace, but it also works in reverse, where other players are more willing to do the solo content and not bother other people in the way that Grand Theft Auto Online players do. I find that griefers are sparse in the world of Red Dead Online, and people only really kill each other out of fear that the other person is a griefer, which is a stigma created by RDO's modern counterpart. Lack of griefers, plenty of solo content, a great way for new players to get hooked. In my opinion, RDO, even with its issues that I will mention in a second, is light years better than Grand Theft Auto Online. You find simple joys in just collecting items, completing legendary bounties, hunting, creating new outfits, designing your own guns. It's a much slower style of game that fits the time period very well, and it is definitely what the video game world needs nowadays, in my opinion. Too many games are competitive currently, and lots of people complain daily about things like skill-based matchmaking, and companies only really seeing its fans as dollar signs rather than people. I think we need more games like RDO and GTAO in some aspects, to still have a social aspect to games without being too daunting for inexperienced MMO players in the way that other games like WoW are. Anyways, as much as I love Red Dead Online, it's not without its issues. Although the game has a lot of content for players pre-level 100, not all of it is as accessible as one another. Don't get me wrong, the roles aren't super difficult to obtain just through playing the game to grind enough gold, but the fact that you have to pay for them is just unnecessary, especially with ones like Naturalist and even the Collector, which is one of, if not the highest paying role in the game. I think the recent Blood Money update took a step in the right direction by making the content have no paywall, but at the cost, no pun intended, of making the content pretty annoying to experience, as you have to go out of your way to find the Capitale instead of just finding it at the end of the mission, and on top of that, you only get one piece per mission, making it very time consuming to save up 25 capitale for a 15-minute mission that'll pay you $100. That kinda leads into my second problem with the game. The game barely gets updated, and when it does, it's very minimal. Players who have all the rules and have experienced everything the game has to offer outside of them, like legendary animals, call to arms, etc., they don't really have a reason to keep coming back. While Grand Theft Auto Online's content may feel like it has a shelf life, RDO as a game feels like it has a shelf life, which is just extremely upsetting. So, with all the pros and cons being taken into consideration for both games, which do I personally believe is better? All day, every day, it'll be Red Dead Online. The solo content in this game is just perfect for those who actually want to play a game, those who want a goal that is actually achievable without burning out. However, with that being said, I still think there's room in the world for Grand Theft Auto Online. The insanity that exists within Los Santos is fun and colorful, and it really feels like a place where you can enact your wildest dreams. I personally think that we need both games within the Lite-MMO ecosystem for it to be healthy. Where there's problems in Grand Theft Auto, they are fixed in Red Dead Online, and the problems within Red Dead Online are fixed within Grand Theft Auto Online. It's a perfect harmony, and I'm glad it exists.